With This On, Season 6, Episode 62, where we watch Squid Game, the competition version. Season 1, Episode 1, and Jesus had to compete, so do I. I'm Chris Lorenz.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. This is Brian.
Oh, shit. Really? This is Noah Singer.
Those were quotes from the show we watched this week. But last week we watched 007 Road to a Million, and we had a poll on X, formerly known as Twitter, and you guys tied. It is a top, middle, bottom, third show for the first time.
Whoa.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it's the first time. So,
Yeah.
Were we all watching the same show?
Cox. Yeah. I know. Brian Cox voted on our poll. It's crazy.
who knows what he thinks of the show? All
also,
right.
Just for the record, the show he watches, Squid Game's a challenge.
I said challenge.
You
What
said
do you want from me?
competition. You said competition.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Noah, what is this show then?
Inspired by the TV series Squid Game, real-life contestants compete in a series of high-stakes children's games in pursuit of a $4.56 million cash prize. Their strategies will be put to the test, while competitors are limited around them. That is Squid Game, the challenge on Netflix.
Okay. All right. We got to get this out of the way. We got to talk about this. Is that the point of Squid Game was about how capitalism and, people being down their luck and like what they would go through to like, murder a bunch of people. And this show is just like, sure. Yeah, that was great. Let's just turn that into a real thing. And it screams of just like not understanding the show at all.
I mean, it's just making it fun. I don't know.
But like, it's not like this show is not like, hey, we made this great show. Let's take those games and have fun with them and, make you do them. No, it's like literally let's remake the show and have you play the games for real and we're going to give you real money. And it's like literally they play that like thing and they like recreate shots from the show for like just because they're remaking the show. It's not like, hey, we're gonna have a fun time with this. No, this is Squid Game.
Yeah, but I mean, the biggest difference is they don't actually kill people.
But no, I
That's
get
a meaningful difference.
But they try to make it look like they kill people.
Oh, they definitely do, and the people are in the bit. They commit to the bit.
Yeah. Okay. So we got to talk about this. So the first challenge is the red light, green light challenge. Yeah. So obviously it's red light, green light. Most people have played that. Everyone knows what that is. I'm not going to describe the goddamn thing. But instead of getting shot, they have like a little, I don't know, some sort of movie type power pellet thing that just goes off.
Yeah. Well, it seems like they're wearing like similar to if you ever wear like a heart monitor while working out. It seems like the contestants have one of those underneath them, but instead of a heart monitor, it's like a little ink blot, and it bursts if you quote unquote get out.
Yeah. So it looks like you get shot, and then you have to lay down. So you're actually playing dead. Like there's no actual difference between being dead and playing like you're dead in relation to us watching the show. You bled out and you're dead.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And I'm kind of curious. Like everyone really commits to playing dead. Like I wonder if they are paying these people to like commit to the bit. So like they're like, hey, look, if you don't commit, you're not getting a paycheck because they all were in.
Here's what I have to tell you. Here's what I have to tell you, Noah, is that on TikTok, the people on the show have been telling a bunch of details about this show.
Oh, really?
And so they try to make this edit make it seem like they're playing red and green light for 5 minutes. They played red light, green light for over 7 hours.
What?
Yeah. So every time they stopped for 15 to like 45 minutes.
Why?
To like get shots that they wanted.
So like they told people to like go back and run again like that?
I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. I don't think so. When they stopped, you had to stop. So there's this one woman that is like squatting.
Yeah.
And like they make it seem like she just can't handle it for like 30 seconds. So she's squatting for like 15 minutes at minimum.
That's impressive.
Like obviously she's not squatting for 15 minutes because she can't do it. She stops at some point. But it is not like it's like real impressive overall.
Yeah.
That she's
There's
just
also
like good.
There's also another aspect there were extremely cold temperatures in this, so they're just hanging out in the cold for so long trying to do this.
Well, it's in an aircraft hangar apparently. They like turn an aircraft hangar into the set from the show, and like obviously there's not enough heat in this aircraft hangar. It's like being outside essentially.
I did see that they were taping right outside London in some like big space.
And if you watch this challenge, everyone has their hands in their pockets as they're running. Because when they stop, it's cold, they want their hands in their pockets.
Yeah, I was curious why they're doing that. I thought it was like to stop the swaying of their arms, but this makes much more sense.
I don't know. The swing of the arms still makes sense to me because like you don't want anything to move. If you like, they were also like going up against the wall and everything. Like anything you do to stop yourself from moving, the better.
Yeah. Tidbit from Wikipedia: red light, green light in Korean is pronounced Darumasan ga Kuranda.
Thank you. So to back to your original point, Noah, is I think it's just like if you weren't gonna like lay down and do the bit, they just like let you leave or something. Like they've got a lot of time, but
yeah.
I think once you're in there, people are laying down. Like you'll just lay down too, like whatever.
Yeah,
but you're not. It's not as continuous filming as they try to make it seem.
That's. I gotta go get some of these TikToks. Like 7 hours to finish the one game is insane.
Oh, dude, I got a lot more. I got a lot more details coming. Not a lot more.
Okay, I'll save them for then too, Chris. I'm with you on this.
Yeah, TikTok's all over this.
One question: there's no clocks, there's no windows. How are we getting 7 hours?
What do you mean?
Like,
so that's also a contention I have with the TikTokers. Is some people said like one person said like 12 to 14 hours. One person says like a couple people said it was like 7 to 8 hours. So like that's why I'm going 7 because I do think that they don't know, but they're also like I would go that it took a long fucking time.
Yeah. I am curious what they were doing during it because they clearly hooking up cameras all about like unless they're doing some reality TV like do that again and like add more drama. I'm really uncertain.
Here's what I'm thinking. I think what is happening is they're trying to figure out who has moved, who is moving, and like doing some drone shots and like getting some like just doing shots.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like 15 minutes isn't that long of a time to get some shots in. Like from a production standpoint.
No, I get it.
But when you stop all the time, I'm just furious at the edit because it makes it seem like this thing happens in 5 minutes. Like it's very disingenuous.
The game has a timer, right?
Yeah,
I forget what the timer is in the game, but there is a timer.
I mean, sure that there's a timer and everything, but we all know that like in reality, like things take longer. Like they do edits, they do some reshots. This is way too much of an edit, like cut down to me.
Like The one lady I saw on TikTok said she sat down at one point because she wanted to rest for the next like 30-minute, like 45-minute segment where they were like, oh, I feel like just standing for like a couple hours is just no fun.
Yeah, and so it did take place in a like air what is it called, like a
Aircraft hangar.
Aircraft hangar. Yeah, it's called Cardington Studios. But yeah, it's an aircraft hangar.
To tell them to get some heaters in there.
That's expensive.
Yeah. This whole thing is very fucking expensive. Like everything about it. Because right after, so they recreate this set. They recreate the set where people are just sleeping with like 4 bunk beds. Oh, it's just obnoxious to have 4 bunk beds. No one has that. You have to custom make those.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I'm sure they can cut like 60,000 off the prize money and put some heaters in Noah.
Yeah,
I'm sure they would have been okay with that. The people in the show.
Yeah, but I'm in the corner right now. Like, I'm just searching for like Squid Games, a challenge on Google, and oh man, all these articles come up. So there's definitely some tea being spilled about this game.
Well, there's also like people suing the production company because they said that they got pneumonia and like nerve damage from this challenge.
Well,
so there's that.
I mean, I'm sure they have no legal basis to stand on. Like, no doubt.
I'm sure. I mean, they're probably not suing in America, where America you'd have no leg to stand on. Whereas in Europe, there's like some level of like when you get like hot coffee from McDonald's, like, you don't expect it to be like 3rd-degree scalding burning, you don't expect to go on this reality show and get pneumonia or nerve damage. Like, that's not good.
Yeah. I just have no idea. Like, I just assume they signed something that's like, you assume all liability on this show. Fuck yourself.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I do think that there is like thresholds. There's like, you've crossed the threshold. Like, like if you lost a limb or something, you've crossed the threshold. But is like getting pneumonia crossing too hard? Next movie they need to remake is Saw. Want to play a game?
Yeah. Man, there's a lot about this show. Yeah, I didn't know internet cornering before this. I just, actually no, I did one about one of the contestants. Beyond that, I didn't really do much.
Yeah. So they do this red light, green light game. Then they go into this section. They introduce a couple people, and obviously one of the people they introduce gets eliminated right away. Because that's how you do these things. And then you get introduced some like mom and son pair, and then they get into this like this giant another aircraft hangar, probably. I don't know. It's unclear. It's a giant room with like this 4-story bunk beds, and people are just hanging out.
Yeah,
for a long time.
That's their hangout space. Yeah.
Apparently, this hangout was like another thing where they don't know how long things are, but like days, apparently.
Yeah. Well, so the whole taping of the show was 14 days. So I don't really buy how long some of this really is. I can buy how it can feel like an eternity.
I mean,
you're in a place with no windows. Yeah, terrible.
I don't know how long I could sit and just hang out without it feeling like eternity. Because like you got no phone, you got no cards, you got nothing. It's just you and other people, and you're hanging out. And like,
you do have other people.
I'm bored.
But it's not even that. I think the worst part about this is there's no sense of time. There's no clocks. There's no windows. You never see the outdoors. I think that is the biggest psychological fuckery in this whole thing. That's really bad.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be fine if I had like a phone or a book or something.
Yeah, a phone. I mean, you have everything. You have the time, right? Like, you have internet, but yeah, I'm telling
The
you,
internet.
not having a sense of time, I think is like cruel. That's pretty cruel.
Yeah, and in this space, we find out they are down. They lost, I don't know, 200 some people. They're down to 197 people after the first challenge.
Yeah,
So
456 to 197. That's crazy.
So they do this thing where I wrote down, "Where's the big thing of money?" That literally said that out loud, and then I was like, "Oh, there it is." So they bring down this thing from the show, and they fill it up with $10,000 bundles of money.
Kind of. So I've watched a handful of episodes now of this show. Spoiler, I enjoyed it. And it's a lot clearer in further episodes that these are boxes. They're not, it's not bundles of money.
What?
It's a white box, like printed, that looks like money.
That's fine.
Why did they zoom in on it?
I don't know, but it becomes pretty clear. And then, like, even when you just think about it, like, $4 million is going to weigh a lot, right? Like, these little empty cardboard boxes are going to be much lighter.
I mean, you already made the prop. You set it up. Just fill it with money.
Yeah. So go back and look at it when they zoom in. You can tell, because, like, what really gives it away is there's no seams for, like, individual bills being stacked on each other. It's just like a white strip, and you're like, wait, and then you see, like, why everything's so uniform. It's like, oh, right, because it's printed.
I mean, I believe you, but I also don't care that much. I mean, it makes sense. Like the insurance on a show where they just have $4 million sitting out,
Cash,
probably
yeah.
pretty high. Like,
Right.
It's just unnecessary to do that. But it's cool, and that's why they did it in the show, because it was cool.
Right. Yeah. It would also be weird for this show, too, because this is an international competition. And so they're going to give someone, like, literal dollar bills and, like, the actual converting and, like, all that nonsense.
Good luck going through customs, guys.
Like, nobody's going to want to do that. Like, there's a big operational challenge with all that cash.
Yeah, sure. I could see that.
Yeah.
But then they did this test, they called it. Was this in the show? I don't remember this in the show.
No,
I don't
this is something new.
Yeah, like the social games. I don't remember any of this.
Well,
I mean, in general.
So there's two people, and they're cutting carrot. They're trimming carrots or peeling carrots. Peeling carrots. That's what I'm looking for. Peeling.
Yeah.
And they get a choice of to eliminate someone or give someone an advantage in the next challenge. And they eliminated some guy. Yeah. And I didn't know if they introduced this guy before or not.
They did briefly.
Like they just eliminated some rando in my head, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, they thought he was being too social. They didn't like the social guy.
They didn't like him. They didn't like him. They didn't like his game.
Mm-mm.
So we're down to 196.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, of course, they're going to choose to remove someone in this instance. Like, it's unclear why you give anyone an advantage at that point.
Because you're a fucking human being.
It's a game. You're playing. It's a game.
I mean, Jesus had to compete, so you're right.
He did? Who did he compete with?
I have the same question, Noah. That's what the one dude said. I was like, Jesus had to compete, so I have to compete. So I was like, that's the most ridiculous line I've ever heard. And I love it. That's why I feel like if I remember, I'm going to try to use that a lot. That's so good.
Yeah. I wonder how many times people misinterpret things that Jesus said or did to their advantage.
We can't get into that. We're not getting into that.
We don't want to go down that route,
Absolutely not. We're definitely not getting in that route. So then after they did this challenge or whatever, they showed them getting food one time. And it was like some rice, some carrots, and an egg. Right?
Yeah.
It didn't seem like a lot of food.
No, not a lot of food.
And it claimed did I hear this wrong that somebody ate multiple foods?
Correct.
Multiple plates?
Yeah. There's one of the guys went up, he took another tray, the other people who didn't want to finish their food, he took their food.
Yeah, I get that. Like if somebody's not gonna finish their rice with egg, sure.
Yeah. But going back up and stealing someone's, that's bad news.
Did that happen in the show? I feel like that happened in the show where like somebody took extra and then there wasn't enough for everyone. Maybe they're just trying to recreate that. I don't remember.
Yeah, like I want to say yes, but I can't say confidently.
So they're just like trying to recreate the show even more. But like it didn't seem like no one was really bitching that they didn't get food. So
right, which is unclear. Like, are they making more, or like if they're not feeding you that much, like you'd be shocked that why are they not like eating that one thing? So it doesn't really add up to me. What's going on with the food situation?
Yeah, that's why I feel like this is just a plot line to match the show, and not like a real plot line at all.
Interesting.
That's what I'm going with. That's where my head is at.
It sounds reasonable.
Yeah. So then after this whole food thing, they go to this staircase scene. So there's this weird staircase shots that they shot in the show, and they recreate the whole set. And this is what I'm like, oh my God, this is absolutely not necessary. But
it's so cool though. It's so cool. It adds a lot to the show. I think it's necessary to sell the show.
I think the show would be fine if it just like would let the show be more fun. And it's just not fun. It's very serious. I get it. Anyway, so they go through the staircases and you're like, oh, and then they go to this cookie challenge. They're in this room and they have to get into groups of 4. So they have to line up, and the first person in each row has to go into another room and choose what shape they have to do the cookie game. So circle, triangle, star, or umbrella. And there's like a big argument over who gets the umbrella, because the umbrella is like impossible. So then Netflix does as Netflix does, doesn't show you what happens. Bum, bum, bum.
Unless you watch more.
Which I also did.
And of course, we always watch the next 4 or 5 minutes to figure out what happened. And those 4 got eliminated because they didn't pick in 2 minutes who got the umbrella. And it happened twice. So 8 people got eliminated.
Yeah.
So we're down to 188, I think. And then somebody picks, and then I stop watching.
Yeah. This, I'll go a little bit into the next episode. They find this guy in the show who is just very, has very low self-confidence, very low self-esteem. And he just gets kind of like ran over, and he submits and chooses the umbrella. It's like really hard to watch. But it also blows my mind that they get into choosing the doors and they don't do something like rock, paper, scissors to just like, okay,
Yeah,
let's just do it
that's
rather than
all I
like
get.
negotiate it.
That's all my fiance and I could say is like, just do rock, paper, scissors. Like
Right.
to be fair about it.
Yeah. It was really unclear to me why they went in trying to negotiate, like with zero leverage. Very weird.
Yeah, I agree. Noah. Like, how are you going to agree just by like, oh, I'm next to the circle door, I'm circle. Like, that's not an
Right.
agreement. That's just you being a dick.
Yeah. Yeah. It was, it made me feel really uncomfortable about this guy just getting purely bullied.
Was this the guy that was crying?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Very uncomfortable. Like, I don't usually get that uncomfortable watching TV. That made me uncomfortable.
Well, there you go. Brian, do you have anything to say?
I watched a little bit more of that too, and I was frustrated that they were just like, "Oh, let's use the same strategy as the show." Like, you can't do that. You can't just fucking recreate it. Like, there was a lot of stuff in the show that they showed. Hey, here's how you can solve this like much easier. Like,
Mm-hmm.
eliminate spitting.
Right.
Eliminate spitting?
Yeah, they were using saliva to like soften the cookie and make it easier.
Yeah. So, a few people, they realize if you spit in a tin, you get a lot more saliva on the cookie faster rather than licking it. And you see the people that spit in a tin, they actually were able to finish really fast.
Oh, some strategy. Some people practiced. I don't
Oh,
even know where
yeah.
to get any of these kind of cookies.
The Dalgonas? Yeah, I have no idea. It seems like it was like
You just pulling out that fancy word for these cookies?
They
Mhm.
say it all the time in the show. Dalgona, Dalgona, Dalgona. That's why I know
Okay.
it.
I didn't watch the episode, so.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Um,
Yeah, the only thing I'll mention, and this is not exactly related to the show, but I don't know. So they build the sets here, right? And it's literally the same as the TV show, Squid Game. But you know, like when you watch a drama, the picture, it feels different than reality TV. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a look to it that is different. How come? Like, what is that? What's going on with like the picture settings that makes it feel different? Do you guys know?
I mean, it's called camera choice and lighting and editing and like film. Like you can change. Like it really comes down to what camera people are using, how it's lit. Like there's a lot of reality shows that aren't lit very well because they're supposed to be more reality. Like, and in this show, they're on fucking sets with like
Hmm.
giant ass lighting. Like
Hmm.
this is a bright, bright, bright set. And
So maybe
makeup.
just like the far away shots, like that. Like like on a drama, you're gonna be really in it.
I'm confused what your question is again.
Well, if you're like saying like lighting, right? Then I'm like, yeah, okay, because like when you're doing a drama, right? You're like you have cameras really close to every single scene, right? Where these like sometimes you have a camera close, but you're not like setting up the lighting for that one shot, right? Like as planned, like a drama where it's all storyboarded. This
Yeah,
is just like people moving around, so that makes sense.
yeah. It really is about the lighting because like at the end of the day, like if you're watching a TV show, like
Mhm.
it's the lighting is really what gets you, and like makeup and stuff will
Mm.
also help because you'll like
Yeah.
look better with better makeup on. So they
Mhm.
might be doing some of that too. Who knows? Like they're really
Yeah.
trying to make it seem like the show, so they might do that. But I didn't really notice that much. But it does look like Squid Game. Like this thing looks like Squid Game. It feels like Squid Game, which
Oh yeah.
honestly freaks me out. Like I don't like it.
Oh, I thought it was great.
I mean, clearly. I mean, some
Yeah.
people like it. I don't
Yeah.
personally am freaked out by it.
Oh yeah, I think it makes a ton of sense. But I can't remember a show we've watched for the podcast where prior to recording I have watched multiple episodes. This is the first in maybe forever. It is nuts.
Well, I don't normally have the chance to, or sometimes I would.
Right. Yeah, I watched this one a little bit early. Yeah, it's up there.
The other thing that I think that's worth talking about, kind of, not really, but whatever, is the confessionals are in this like prison cell. It's like fucking nuts.
I
And
want
they
to say it's a
got
prison cell.
it's a
like
fucking prison. It's like the interrogation room of a prison.
Yeah, no, it's a police station interrogation room.
Yeah, it feels like you're going to prison.
Yeah, I would say more a police station than prison, but similar.
Sure. Jail, prison, whatever you want to call it. And that's where you get the famous Jesus line. There's also some guy that comes in with a mullet, and he's like, yeah, I got this accent, and people think I'm dumb, but I'm not dumb. And I look at him, I'm like, are you sure? And, I don't know. And that's all I have to say about that.
Yep. Yeah.
Who's the worst human being?
I'm gonna go with 234. I don't like him.
I have no idea who that is.
Brighton, like the bro.
Yeah.
The bro guy.
Oh, is he the guy that's like says the competition line that Brian used?
Maybe. I don't know.
Brian, what
Yeah, I
was
don't
that
remember who
line
did
again?
that. If I did, everybody cheats. If you're not cheating,
Oh,
you ain't
is it that
trying.
whoever said that? It's got to be the worst human being. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Yeah, I wrote that down. I also wrote down everybody to me is just money. Was another quote I wrote down.
Yeah.
Which, I feel like that could be a contender. Whoever said that, it was some woman in the show.
I agree.
I feel it's just like more shit talk.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. You're playing a game.
Okay. Dude, but in my head, they're playing Squid Game, which is people get fucking murdered.
Yes.
So it's like, it's hard for me to take this as it's just a game when it's based on a not game, but it's a game. Like, my head's all fucked up.
I feel you.
There's no host, so we don't have anything to talk about that. You said the production schedule is 14 days?
Yes.
That seems like a short amount of time for the number of episodes of this show. And
that's what I was talking about, right? Like, that's what I mean.
Drinking rules. If you really want to get hammered, you can anytime anyone gets eliminated. But you might only have to do that. Like, you should do that when they're down to like 200. You could kind of lump them together,
Yeah,
like
I
people
think
get eliminated at once. You could take a drink, like
right.
50 people get eliminated once. That's one drink,
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Brian, you got a drinking rule for us? Hello.
Finish your drink
Brian.
when those those challenges in between the games happen.
Finish your drink.
Yeah, because they only happen like once an episode.
Yeah, people don't need to chug their drinks. Okay, Max. Max is not here today. Max, give it to us. No,
take a drink every time you're called Max.
Max.
No, so
every time I say Max when he's not here, take a drink.
Yeah, so take a drink every time people start to scheme, try to create an alliance.
That's a good one. We did elimination. Anytime you recognize a shot from the show, take a drink. Or like a storyline from the show.
Yeah.
All right. Would this show be better as a Quibi or TikTok?
Nah, I don't think so. I think it's balance pretty well. So no.
I don't know. I'm struggling with this show. I'm not sure making it shorter would make it better. So I'm gonna go with a no.
Yeah, if they had cut it down like for the people actually playing, maybe, but not
Yeah.
not for the content.
What do you love about the show, Noah?
So one, I like how they stick to Squid Game. It's very fun. Two, I like the pace of the show. They don't like really drown on the drama too much. And all in all, it makes it like pretty entertaining to watch.
Brian, what do you love about the show?
I think I like that for something that was like a dystopian thing, they actually did give Phil a chance to try it. I wish that they had changed it up a little bit so that it's not like you can do the exact same thing on the show and succeed, but like it recreated something so faithfully and gives people a chance to have fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I don't love it, but it is very compelling that they've recreated this like TV show about a game so real that it's like disturbing me. Um, I guess the other thing is that they took the themes and just threw them out the window and were like, "Yep, we're gonna start this show off with somebody saying how poor they are and how much they need this money, and they kill them right away." That like you gotta be fucking kidding me. All right. So do your ratings. We do a stock ranking system between top, middle, bottom, third. Noah, what's your rating?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, the only show I've watched multiple of before even talking on the podcast. That's got to go top, right? Like, what else can you do for that?
Brian, what do you got for me?
I think I got to put this in the bottom. It's not as exciting. Top to bottom though. It's not as exciting given that like at least like these two episodes, they seem very like too on the point, and I'm not a fan of like them doing so much time between figuring out who should be out. That just doesn't seem okay to me.
I'm gonna go with obviously bottom third. I think the show is weird. It's freaking me out. I'm like not that interested, and they didn't make it compelling enough for me to actually want to keep watching. Like I don't know. Like as I'm sitting here watching the show, I'm like on my phone because like there's nothing really happening. It's like, does it really matter who wins red light, green light? They didn't make that compelling. They didn't make this second part where they're in these rooms compelling. Like, I don't know who these people are. They're not making good storylines. Like, the only storyline in this whole show is like who picks the umbrella, and like I don't know. Maybe it'll get better later when they have to like do they have to do other more interesting challenges. I don't know. This episode was boring, and the tone was weird, and the whole capitalist fucking thing pisses me off. So, fuck this show. Bottom third. Sorry for my rants. So that's it for our discussion of Squid Game, the challenge. Not challenge. Is it a challenge? What's the name of the show again?
Squid Game, the challenge.
Tell us what you thought about this show on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Who Put This On? Well, we'll pull up on Twitter. At Twitter. I just said it. Pull on X. All right. Noah, you got some news?
Yeah. So, end of year now, right? We're almost in December. So people coming out with those end of year lists, the best of, the worst of. And so New York Times got their best TV of the year, and one of our shows came on that list. Jury Duty, that show on Freevee, went on the New York Times best list, which is pretty cool. It was a good show. Good show.
I still don't like Freevee, but I did like the show until the end when I found out how mean it felt. So you can listen to that saga over the couple of weeks after that episode for sure.
He seems pretty happy about it though. The main guy.
Yeah, sure. That doesn't mean that people behind the show didn't feel like when I'm watching them like laughing hysterically at him for doing something normal. Like that's, I don't know, that feels a little mean to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a weird person. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. Could be. We will judge and we'll tell you next week.
I'm one of those people. I'm a weird person that like finds Santa Claus really weird because like why are you teaching your kid that you're just constantly lying to them? Like you've set up this elaborate lie through their whole lives. Like it just doesn't feel right to me.
Are you ever gonna have kids?
I don't know. No.
I kind of want to. I want to see you tell your 4-year-old, no, bro.
What,
It's
that
a lie.
Santa isn't real?
Yeah,
I mean, I agree with you. That's a moral dilemma that I have to go with. But like the end, it still feels wrong to like teach your kid that you're going to lie to them all the time. I feel like, and then like you're not going to tell little lies. You're going to tell like this massive lie. Like you like lied to their face for years. That's got to be. I feel like emotionally to a little kid, that's got to be hard. Like that's not like a. It's not like a brush it off, like, oh, there was chocolate chip cookies in the cookie jar, you know? Like, that's not a white lie.
I mean, do you feel betrayed? Did your parents tell you?
I don't know. Maybe.
Brian?
I think there's definitely psychological problems with this. Not. I'm just all I have to say. That's all I'm saying is like things you do to your kids have repercussions, and lying to them about Santa Claus.
Yeah,
my fiance's looking at me because I've told her my opinion about this already. I'm just saying.
It's about to stay fiance, Chris.
All right, Brian, do you have any shout outs this week?
The latest Taskmaster season wrapped up. It's pretty good. Go watch it all.
The contestants are great. They're really funny.
Yeah.
Highest best.
Noah, you have any shout outs this week?
Yeah, I've been watching a show called The Recruit on Netflix. It's like 24 meets like MTV, kind of. I don't know how to explain it. It's okay. Like it's like easy to watch and it's like entertaining enough. But I wouldn't say it's like great TV. But it's like, yeah, it's just.
So you're saying it's a good show to watch with my family when I go back home for Christmas. Like it's good enough. It's entertaining. Whatever. We can watch it or not watch it.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. It's a very nice umbrella to put on top.
I'm not sure I have any shout-outs. I saw Thanksgiving, the slasher Thanksgiving movie that came out last week. It's a little late, obviously, because last week was Thanksgiving. It was very much like Scream. Like it was very much like murder mystery kind of show, a murder show kind of movie. And I think it's a little rote at that point because we're in a post-Scream world, but it was very gory. And so if you're into like a gory, like I had squeamish, I had to like look away sometimes because like just like it was nuts. So if that's your bag, you should watch that.
I feel like Thanksgiving is a pretty gory holiday. You know, it's like all these turkeys being decapitated.
As opposed to all the chickens that get decapitated every fucking day. Or cows. Or plants that we murder to eat, you know?
Yeah, I mean, this is just like celebrating of it. We don't celebrate chickens.
That's true. It's true. We don't necessarily celebrate the chickens we kill every day. There you go.
There's a lot of chickens.
Take my Squid Game logic to the next logical level about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, a lot of chickens. I wonder how many chickens do you think are killed each day? I'm gonna Google this really quickly. Brian, or here, just take guesses.
I mean,
I
this
don't
feels like one of those old school Google interview questions where it's just like,
It is,
calculate the
yeah.
number of potholes in New York.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. But just go guess quick. Like I got
right.
I got the Google quick answer.
Let's go with 16 million.
Let's go.
No, actually, no. Sorry, not 16.
Is
Let's
this
do
for
1
the
million.
world?
1 million. 1 million.
Is this world or just the
Well,
US?
We can. What do you guys want to do? Global or US? I got both.
I'm gonna go with 1 chicken per person for whatever era, whatever you do in the US. It's like 300 million
per day or per day.
Maybe per day. Maybe it's like. I feel like you got to go by like population. In the US, it's got to be like 1/3, so like 100 million chickens
per day.
Yeah,
100 million chickens a day.
Okay.
And Brian, you're at what?
60 million.
60. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's 25 million a day for the United States, 200 million a day for the world, which comes out to 74 billion globally a year. And then the United States one, I can just do the math really quick. That's 9 billion a year for the US.
Well, there you go. I was off by, so it's like 1/12 the number. Like that's how many.
Yeah. So it's like 27 chickens per person per year.
So every 12 days, you eat a whole chicken, like per person, like on average.
Going through it, yeah. All
right. Well, there you go. That's the shout out this week is how many chickens get eaten in the United States and the world. We actually didn't discuss what we're watching next week, so tweet at us or excrement at us on X, formerly known as Twitter.
You know a good Hanukkah reality TV show? Hanukkah kicks off on Thursday. Not tomorrow, next week. Next Thursday.
Thursday. So we could pop it on for that. All right. Well, I'm sure there's some sort of cookie holiday house challenge that I'm sure they've done a Hanukkah episode. So maybe we'll find that. I don't know. Anyway, tell us that on X at whoputthison, facebook.com/whoputthison. Email us questions and suggestions at whoputthison@gmail.com. See you guys next time.